Welcome to our new show, Salina A&E. I'm David Hawksworth, your host, and I'm here with Josh Morris, who's the curator of exhibits at the Smoky Hill Museum. Josh, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
And we're here to talk about the brand new exhibit at the Smoky Hill Museum called Let's Play. And that's really an intriguing title. It talks about a very unique aspect of Salina history. Let's talk about that.
So when we first started this project, we knew we wanted to have something that was geared for younger audiences, and we had a lot of toys in our collection, but we didn't really know what direction we wanted to head to. So we started some initial research with our curator of collections and research, Jen Tolley, and looked into different children, started in the 1890s, and from there we sort of just kind of kept evolving and evolving the story. So in general, where we ended up with, this is the story of play and how it changed from a structured type thing to a little bit more loosey-goosey, so to speak. And then really understanding how it was not a frivolous activity, but an important thing that we could really, it was well worth our time to spend time doing it.
And it seems like as we go along, child experts say play is more important than ever.
Oh, definitely. It's something you really should do your whole life. You think of it as just a kid thing, but play maybe changes as you get older, but it's still important, and especially at those young ages where you're developing all those sort of life skills and problem solving and working together in groups, and there's all sorts of great things you can learn from playing.
Right, absolutely. Well, I've just had a brief glimpse of the new exhibit here, and it's really fascinating. There's a lot of interactives, especially for kids to get involved with.
Yeah, so there's our typical interactives where it's designed from the very beginning all the way through to be wholly hands-on. And then we have what we call our mechanical book type features. One is right here behind us. So it's a typical reading rail presentation with artifacts, but to see the items, we're revealing it in a more hands-on way. So in this case, we have these louvered panels that just open up and reveal what's inside. So we have 3 of those in the interactive, or in the exhibit. And then we have a great theater where kids can be immersed in a theater space, and we have different, we have an Old West scene, we have a space scene and a sort of medieval castle, so they can put different clothing on, they can bring different scenes in, props. It should be a really fun way for them to get like really engaged with the space.
Cool. Well, the other thing that's very striking is all the illustrations that we have around the exhibit, and I understand that they're custom made.
Yeah, so we wanted, early on, we were really talking about the story and presenting it in a storybook sort of way, but we didn't want to get so married into having to write in a storybook style. So we sort of came up with this hybrid where we have short snippets where it's a little more simplified text, which then tie directly into our historic children. So the illustrations actually highlight 9 different Salina kids that grew up here or in the area.
Oh, so these are actual children that from Salina.
This is Marilyn and Jerry. So a lot of the items inside this case were theirs. Over in this other section where it's all sort of comic strip style, those are 2 kids called Dick and DeVere. And that's all about their stuff and their collecting of like sort of popular culture items and radio programming and all those things that were real popular in the 30s, 40s, and maybe up into the 50s. We talk about sports through Benny and Mary and Diana. I mean, so there's these actual kids that we talk about that are historic in nature, and our illustrator really helps bring them to life. So it wasn't a black and white photo, but a fun sort of playful look at those children.
And I understand that the illustrator is a Salina native.
Yeah, so that was another thing we wanted to do is we want to have the artist be from Kansas, and we sort of looked out when we put this out to for competition, so to speak. His stuff came in and it sort of crept to the top of some of our favorite work, and he happened to be a native of Salina. And we just loved his watercolor style. It's very sort of lively and just felt very appropriate to the exhibit. So that's where we ended up going. And he's excited. He'll be here for our grand opening, and he'll probably talk a little bit about his work. But we're really happy to have him on board.
And I guess we should mention his name is John Keeling.
John Keeling, yeah. Okay. I think he went to South High, maybe, but I know he's from Salina.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's plenty of things for kids to do, but there's stuff for adults to look at and read about too.
Yeah, they actually, I would be shocked if adults don't go through here and play with as many things as kids do.
Right.
There's old radio programs to listen to. There's sort of this old game of find the thimble where you have to open all these compartments and find it, and it's maybe a little bit challenging, but maybe not. There's just a lot to see and do in a small space, and I think everybody from little kids to grandparents are going to enjoy what we put together.
Well, that's great. I'm really impressed with the exhibit, the look of it, the feel of it, the artifacts that are in here. And they're going to bring back a lot of memories for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was so fun to do it because when we talked about the artifacts and we talked about the story, everything meshed together very well. So you'll see within the illustration, some of the items on display right next to it. So there's lots of sort of little gems hidden throughout that if people look hard enough, they'll find those connections.
Right, right. Okay. Well, this is the perfect opportunity to come in and see the exhibit Let's Play here at the Smoky Hill Museum. What's the hours of the museum?
So we're open 11 to 5, except for Saturday, we're open 10 to 5.
Okay.
Oh, and we're closed on Sunday and Monday.
Okay. And where is the museum located?
We're on the corner of Iron and 7th, so 211 West Iron Avenue.
Okay. All right. So right across from the Methodist Church?
Yep, where we got the public parking lot to our west, so there's parking in front, a little bit in rear, so there's plenty of spots for everybody to come visit us.
Okay. And the museum exhibit will be open until October, so plenty of time to come see it, but no better time like the present. So come on down and take a look at it. Josh, thanks for being on the program today.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll see you next month on Salina A&E.